Pal.
Numa2 here. Hi, future Numa here. I'm making a bit of an addendum. So you guys won't see this, but my original rating of my original first impression rating of this game was it was bad. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. Now, normally I would say that's it. That's what my first impressions are, but I truly don't think I was being fair enough because I was playing on Game Pass, as I mentioned a couple times in the video. I ended up buying it on Steam afterwards because my cousin wanted to play with me and it wasn't cross-platform. So I bought it. It was like 30 bucks on Steam, whatever. I bought it. It's like night and day. It's an early access game on both platforms, but the game preview version on Game Pass is so bare bones. You can't name your character. I don't even think you can name your pals. It's there are so many parts of the game that feel beyond unfinished, not even like beta level unfinished, like super unfinished, especially compared to the Steam version where it just feels more put together. There was no visual interface or any kind of visual mapping for controller support, which is insane again on Game Pass. It's wild. So everything was kind of low except for like visuals. I think gameplay did okay. Things have changed since I have now been playing on Steam and I've actually gotten a real first impression of what the game should be like at its point. So we're going to go ahead and go through what my new ratings are. Of course, you guys aren't getting to see the original review because frankly, it's not an honest one in terms of how the game actually plays. It's more of a bad review on the Game Pass version of the game. So let's go ahead and start this. So visuals, I originally gave it a 4 out of 5 hearts. I'm going to be keeping that because I do feel that the visuals were super nice. I think that the art style was gorgeous. It very much felt kind of Fortnite-ish in terms of that like cartoonishness, but also I don't know, for me, I really liked the environments and how they looked. It felt kind of like what Pokemon should be looking like right now, and I think that's very much a draw for this game in general, is it feels like a lot of what we've been wanting from Pokemon. Not everything. Obviously, I don't want Pikachu to have a Glock. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so visuals, we gave it a 4 out of 5 hearts. The reason why I didn't get 5 hearts, a lot of clipping issues. I did notice that, and I know that's, once again, early access. You know, big caveat for this review is this is an early access title, even on Steam. So, yeah. But yeah, so 4 out of 5 hearts for the visuals. For gameplay, I initially gave it a 3 out of 5 hearts. Almost specifically gave it a mid review because of the controller issues I was having. And the inability to kind of figure out how to use the controller because there's no way to like set it up. That's not the case on Steam. So this is now getting a 4 out of 5 hearts. The gameplay is great. I love the gameplay loop. I have been playing this game so much. I have like 5 different worlds that I'm playing on with different people, including a solo world that I'm playing on, which I recommend doing a solo world. Do that if you have like a primary world with a friend or friends. Make your solo world casual. It's so fun. It is such a fun, like, casual mode is so nice. But yeah, so gameplay though, good loop. It can be clunky at times. I do wish there was I wish they put a little bit more effort into making the bases easier to customize in terms of like, I think when you place the PAL box, it'd be nice if it did like an overhead shot. And I wish you could pick up and move items instead of having to destroy stuff, because for most items it's not a big deal except for the chests. That sucks. I also wish there was a way to like transfer items between bases, or actually better yet, I wish all bases shared resources. I think that would be nice. Or set up like a supply line, kind of like Fallout 4 did. So yeah, just ideas. But yeah, so 4 out of 5 hearts for gameplay. Soundtrack, I bumped it up to, I initially put it at a 1 out of 5 hearts. I'm giving it a 2 out of 5 hearts. Game Pass there was like no music The audio was kind of like their audio cues were cool, but there was just zero music. I definitely, and that maybe that was me, maybe I just didn't hear it, but on Steam I definitely felt a little bit more of a presence. I definitely felt more music. I mean, just like, you know, I could tell when I was in enemy combat, I could tell all these things. It definitely gave a little bit more of an ambiance to it. Not enough, though, for me to give it anything more. So for soundtrack, we're getting 2 out of 5 hearts. Settings, completely flipped. Originally, I gave the setting a 2 out of 5 hearts. I've bumped it up to 4 out of 5 hearts. It is, so initially my complaint was that it was a very interesting and unique setting, but it was a tad generic looking. I do stand by that. It is like a tad generic looking, but it's also gorgeous. I think the mixture of the art style with that survival environment is very unique, and I think normally I would find that kind of Valheim Wilds thing so boring and drab, but with that kind of cartoonish mix really adds it and vamps it up. So I'm going to be giving the setting a 4 out of 5 hearts. I love the world that you're in. I love the way it's laid out. I love the map. I love the concept of the game. I think it's just great. Lastly, we're going to story. Once again, this one got this one's similar to soundtrack, got a small bump up. Originally I got 1 out of 5 hearts. This time I gave it 2 out of 5 hearts. So the primary reason for that is going to just be that there's still not a lot of story, if any. However, kind of the world building and more so the variety of like you have the cult of the, you know, you have the Brotherhood of the Pyre or Cult of the Pyre, whatever they're called. You have these different factions. There is once you actually get to the interesting parts, which can be hard to get to, there is kind of a underlying story that's being told of past civilizations. And like there's like a policing system. I really do think that this has a lot of potential, which is why I bumped it from 1 to 2. So the story gets 2 out of 5 hearts overall. So overall, encompassing it, you know, tallying up my stuff and then doing, you know, my really awful math where I decide to round down or up depending on where I want it. Sorry about all the noises that are happening around me. I am going to say my overall rating is a 3.5 hearts out of 5. Originally, it was way lower. I gave it a 2 out of 5 hearts. Undeserved. The Game Pass version deserved it. I will stand by that. But 3.5 is a lot more along the lines of how I feel about it in terms of the categories I give. Because once again, in terms of story and soundtrack, it's not giving much. And you can't change my mind on that. It's just not. Games like this don't. I mean, you know, and that's something maybe I need to change. Maybe I need to look into how what my categories are depending on the game, because survival games, for the most part, 9 out of 10 times, are gonna do nothing in the soundtrack and story category, because that's frankly not what it is. Now, that being said, there are games like Sons of the Forest that actually excel, where yes, it's a lot of like low level storytelling, but when you get that story, there is a story. You have a kind of call to action. Palworld really only had go to the big tree or whatever as the call to action. So that's definitely, as much as I love it, it is always going to kind of be faulty there at the story and soundtrack. Now, it can develop that way. Grounded has one of the best kind of survival game stories I've ever played and been a part of, and so I honestly know that, you know, survival games can have this, but you know, you just gotta wait for it. But that is it. Sorry, I look so disheveled. I had to do this. This is recorded like 2 days. This section was recorded like 2 days later. So now that that's over, I'm just gonna throw it back to present day Brandon, present day Numa, whatever. The time that the OG guy. We're going to throw it back to him to do the outro. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe, like, and or comment. Also, feel free to check out my TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, which are all linked in the description below. Beneath that, you'll find a link invite to the Discord channel, so feel free to hop on in and join the 282. Thanks again for watching, though, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! This little cat is working his ass off at my base. I need to give him a promotion or, like, a house. I don't know.